Hi again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Sunday, I hope you guys are having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. So today we're building something a little bit different, and for some unknown reason I woke up this morning and I was unbelievably inspired to build an off-the-grid lake cabin in Granite Falls. Really weird, right? This is totally not my sort of style of build. It's really quirky. I've never built an off-the-grid house before, so this is something that is so alien to me, and I did struggle with it for a little while. So although the house looks small, because it is small, it's only 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, it actually took me a really long time to try and figure out how I wanted to lay this out. I knew that I wanted it to be a lake cabin, like that was easy. What I struggled with was the color schemes. So you will see that we initially start off with a sort of a light wood grey white color scheme, and then I was like, no, that is not the vibe that I wanted for this particular house. So we ended up changing the colour scheme, as you've seen from the introduction video, to more of like a rich wood with a black roof, and I just think that looks so much better. So this is what I'm talking about. So we do play around with some lighter wood tones. I am not removing this from the speed build footage because it was part of the process for me, and I've always been really transparent with you guys and said I will try and include as much of the process as I can, because I try out a lot of different color schemes, and if they don't look nice or if I'm not into them, then I'll change them. And the light wood, it just wasn't working for me. I was trying to think of the interior as well, and what I had in mind for the interior was really quite dark and sort of put together, like the Sims that live here. I mean, there can only be 1 or 2 Sims that live here, but the Sims that live here have maybe like grabbed these items from various places and they've just sort of put them together. So I was thinking, I was kind of restricting myself if we were going to stick, excuse me, for the light wood tone. So that's one of the major reasons that we went for the richer wood tone. But I am really pleased overall with how the house came out. Again, it's, as I said, it's just really unusual for me to try something like this, and so I just thought maybe you guys will have some use for it in your gameplay. As I said, it is built in Granite Falls, but it is a residential lot. I have uploaded it as a residential lot to the gallery, so you can place this anywhere you like. I did build it on a 40 by 30 lot because although the house is very small, as you can see, the majority of the lot is actually taken up by water using the new, is it a pond tool? Is that what we call it? I'm sure that's what we call it. So again, not something that I play around with too often, and it was really refreshing for me to try something new today. So again, I go back to, I really hope you and your Sims have a use for this, and if you don't, then hopefully at least you can just cozy up and enjoy the speed build itself. So we're still working on the exterior structure. I created this really large sort of decking space on the outside just to allow you Sims to plant some seeds. There's a washing line out here, there's a water collector from Eco Lifestyle, there's a bee box, there's the bug boxes from Eco Lifestyle as well. So as you can probably tell, we did use a lot of items from Eco Lifestyle because again, we go back to, it's an off-the-grid house, so there's wind turbines on the top of the house, we've got the solar panels as well. And I believe, I may have missed something on the inside, but as far as I'm aware, every item used in this house is off-the-grid friendly. I didn't include any light fixtures that would require electricity, so they're all candles or lights that I found in the off-the-grid category. And I had a really good time building this actually, and it was really nice because I was initially going to be uploading my modern farmhouse build today, and I had so much more work to do on that particular house, and I just didn't have the time today. So that's another reason that this house is slightly smaller than normal, but I didn't really think you guys would mind. It was really nice for me to do a smaller house actually. I'm used to doing these slightly bigger, sometimes huge family houses, so it was just really nice change of pace for me, this. Right, I can't work out when we decided to change the colour scheme. I think it's relatively soon. I'm just having a look at the footage now and seeing exactly where I decided to change it, but this was not it wasn't working for me at all. I don't know if you guys will agree or disagree. Please drop me a comment down below if you preferred the lighter wood. I'd be more than happy to do an off the grid house that's like mainly lighter woods, but yeah, I think for this particular build I definitely had something in mind, so it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working for me at all. There's a lot of items that I used to try and make this house look. The Sims that live here probably take care of the house, but obviously with it being an off-the-grid home and with it being more like a cabin style house, I definitely wanted to get across that the house is, I don't want to say neglected or run down, that's not what I mean at all, but it's kind of makeshifty, you know, like the Sims have probably built this from the ground up. That's definitely the vibe that I was trying to get across. So I'm hoping we achieve that with this house. I think it becomes more apparent when we do change the colour scheme. Sorry. But again, please drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think. I've never actually played with a family in an off-the-grid house. I'm not entirely sure how the whole process works. I'm just being completely honest. I did know that I had to include some very key items, excuse me, I think I'm losing my voice, items within the build, which I definitely tried to do. I've no doubt in my mind that I have managed to miss something because that'd just be a completely me thing to do. But I'm hoping I included everything, but if I haven't, then please let me know so that I know for next time. But yes, with the sort of the lake, I don't know whether we can call it a lake. I mean, I was trying to give off a lakey vibe with the landscaping and like just the sheer size of it as well. And then this is really funny as well because I pulled out these logs from the base game debug menu, and my intention was to have like a little pile of logs somewhere in like the living area. Yes, my throat just gargled, I do apologise. I've just taken a swig of my drink and now my throat's gargling. This isn't going very well, is it? Anyway, I took out these logs from the debug menu in the base game and I put them inside because I was going to put like a little stack of logs in the living space, which I thought would be really, really cute. And then I forgot that they were there. So when I started to furnish the kitchen, I just built the counters around it. I started putting things down. And then I had this moment when I was like, oh yeah, the logs. So I did my little stack in the living room. Anyway, completely irrelevant. So we have changed the colour scheme finally. I just think this works a lot better. And we also changed the roofing structure slightly as well. So on the left, we go for the... I never know what type of roofs they are. So essentially it matches the main body, and then we do the same thing on the front as well. I did do some landscaping off camera. I do need to make that point right now, because you may well be looking at this and thinking, this doesn't really look like the house that I saw at the start of the video. And you're absolutely right, it doesn't. Not at the moment, because I changed a few things off camera because I was finding it really fiddly. I was scrolling through the debug menu for what felt like hours and hours on end. I was looking for one particular item and it was a boat. I think it's from, I have no idea where it's from, that's why I couldn't find it. And even in the end, I didn't find it. So I ended up putting a different boat on the lot, which I'm not upset about. I think it looks really nice actually, but I was looking for like this run down wooden boat and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was getting so upset, and I just decided I was like, I can't do this anymore. I must have been looking for it for about 25-30 minutes. So eventually I gave in and I was like, okay, I'm just going to use this boat instead. I think we used one from the cats and dogs debug menu instead. Again, I do think it looks really nice. I think it works to some extent. I just wish I'd have found the other boat. If anyone knows where that item is in the debug menu, please drop me a comment down below and let me know. And if I do an off the grid house again, I will definitely use that one instead. So yes, the exterior has kind of come together. It's I feel like this speed build's a little bit choppy in that it only consisted of 3 parts, so I actually only had to edit 3 lots of footage, which is very unusual for me. Normally I edit anywhere between like 10 and 15 different clips of footage because I stop and then I'll take a break and then I'll come back to it. With this house I did it all in one morning, so it didn't take me as long as my other houses, which we've already spoken about as to why. But it kind of threw me off because I did some stuff off camera, which I know I shouldn't have done. I just didn't think you guys would want to see me sifting through debug for what seemed like hours, as I was saying. So yeah, I decided to just not include any of that. So we do kind of, we start changing things up here in this clip because I'd posted a work in progress shot on Twitter. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, I've been wanting to do that for a while. I've posted a work in progress shot on Twitter and I was like, I don't like how this looks. I need to save this. So I came back in game and decided to make some adjustments. So this is what we're doing here. We are making some adjustments to the house and I think it looks a lot better. It's definitely got that log cabin vibe now. And that is mainly because of these little decorative items that are from the, I think they're from the base game, which I don't use very often because it's not very often that I build log cabins. So I just thought, right, let's just have a look at this and see how we can save it. How do we tweak it to make it look just a little bit better? So these are just some of the adjustments that we make. And as you can see, I think personally it's transformed the entire exterior and I just think it looks so much better than it did before. And we have, and you will also see, this is the boat that I was talking about. That's the one from the debug menu from the cats and dogs, which is sized down 1 with the open bracket key. Because when I put it down, it was huge. I was like, that's not right. Like, it can't be that big. So I actually scaled it down just once and I ended up putting it here. And I think it looks really nice. I think it works. This is the interior of the house. Now, as you can see, it is very open and it's much bigger than I had originally anticipated. So much to I wasn't amused actually. When I got inside, I was like, oh no, this is too big. And I struggled for the first couple of minutes. You'll see me struggling, trying to figure out what to put where. And then I kind of got my groove on and I was like, yes, we can put that there and make it look really cluttered and lived in and just kind of run down. So you'll have to let me know what you think of the inside, but I do really like it. I like how it turned out. And this is what I was talking about earlier. So you'll see me just bobbing in and out of the off the grid menu to make sure that I am including items that are appropriate for this type of lot. So you'll see me there, I switched out the fridge because the fridge that I had there initially was not an off the grid fridge. So this one here is actually from Cottage Living, which really surprised me, even though it does really fit. It does fit with the vibe of the cabin as well, because there's a lot of wood tones going on in here. There's no curtains in this cabin because my thought process was, how would you be making your own curtains if you're living off the grid in the middle of a lake? So if you want to add some curtains, please go ahead. I decided not to for that reason. And then I realised that I had not left any room for a bathroom, so I was going to do like an exterior outhouse. And then I was like, no, there's a lot of room in this main living space, so we actually end up just putting it over to the left hand side there where those windows are, and I think it ended up working actually quite nicely because we do put on the outside of the windows some of the detailing from the Snowy Escape pack, so it just offers you Sims a little bit of privacy. And I can't even take credit for that because it was completely unintentional when I was building the exterior. I wasn't thinking, oh, I can put the bathroom there, so I'll put some of these like privacy slats on the outside. Although I'd like to take credit for it, that's definitely not how my mind was working at the time. So this is the bedroom. It's just covered in windows because my thought was it'd be really nice if you were living here and you just got to wake up and just be immersed in the landscaping and the surroundings. And I was going to be making this like a plant room, and then I thought, no, I don't want to be doing stuff like that. So that's why we ended up turning it into the bedroom. This is what I was talking about earlier. This ends up being the one and only bathroom in the little cabin, and I think it works perfectly well. There's no sink in here, but there's a sink in the kitchen. That was the thought process, so that's why it's so long and skinny. Normally I would include a sink, but it would have meant that I was losing space on the rest of the floor plan, and I didn't really want to do that because it's not the biggest house in the world, as you can see. It's really unnerving for me to make a house as small as this. I'm just not used to it. I don't know how people do these floor plans for such small houses. Like I struggled for the longest time. And as I said, it took me a little while to like get my groove back. And I just thought eventually I was like, oh, let's just try some of these things. And if it doesn't look right, we can always change it and whatever. And it really surprised me, some of the items that I ended up pulling out and them looking as nice as they did. Like, so those cabinets are from, is it the Country Kitchen kit? I think, because they look kind of worn down and bedraggled, and they look like something that a sim may have made from some wood. The cooker I think is from base game, and obviously, as I said, the fridge is from cottage living, and then the little shelves up there are from Snowy Escape. I just thought they looked kind of makeshifty as well because of how they're sort of laid out. And there's plenty of activities for your Sims to do in this house. They can do painting, there's like a little fire pit outside that they can relax and roast some marshmallows on an evening. There's plenty of lighting outside as well, so I would really like to see how this house looks like in game at night. I think it'd just be really, really pretty, like looking out onto the lake. And if you do end up placing it in Granite Falls, that is, obviously if you want to place it somewhere else, as I said, it could work. Initially I was going to do it in Evergreen Harbour, but as for a lot of other Simmers, Evergreen Harbour is very, very broken for me at the moment, so I've got like that weird blue floor glitch, which is a bit upsetting because I've been wanting to make a container home for the channel for quite some time. I used to love making container homes, and I haven't built one in what seems like a really long time, and I really wanted to build one, and then yeah, the game said no. Anyway, this is me pulling out some bits, just making it look cluttered and lived in. We all know that that is my favourite pastime of the house building. What word am I trying to use here? Like the whole process, this is my favourite part, is just like doing all the clutter and stuff. And then this does look a bit odd because it's kind of half hanging out the window, but I figured your Sims would need a dresser, so I pulled this one from the outdoor retreat pack, and I realised that that pack actually had a lot of items that looked kind of makeshifty, so I just pulled some out of the catalogue and just threw some on the walls as and where I felt they were required. I even included some bugs in these little weird things that I don't normally like. They make me feel a little bit like creepy crawly, but I included them in this build because I thought you Sims might want to go and collect frogs and butterflies and things, because what else would there be to do in this house? You can't watch TV or play on your PC or whatever, so I figured they'd probably be into that kind of stuff. And then I just end up cluttering up the bedroom just a little bit more. I actually struggled with what to put on this dresser because it wasn't fitting on as normal because it's like technically half hanging out the window. Anyway, you can grab this house from the gallery right now. My origin ID is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, will be linked down in the description box below. You can get them completely free of charge from Sim File Share. But thank you so much for joining me here today, everyone. You guys take care, and I will see you next time I post a video. Bye!